to a robot adventures review of the Bumblebee movie. Come by. This review is going to be maybe 1 or 2 beverages long. I don't want to go over that because I want... Oh, Happy New Year, January 1st. I want to go over my top movies of 2018. I made a list. And there's more movies I don't want to see than I actually did see. And, yeah, I want to make more videos. I got a lot of projects going on. A lot of stuff I'm working on. But I want to talk about Bumblebee. And officially, Bumblebee will not be released in Japan until spring. Oh, hey, yay, that's great. But still wanted to talk about it. In case somebody was like, "Oh, should I go watch it?" Yes. Short answer, yes. Go watch it. If you like Transformers and you want a nice, happy little movie, it's a good movie. All right, come by. Which should I'm gonna go with the. I'll go with the dark one first. Maltz the Black. Come by. And this one's from Texas, St. Arnold's. Proving that's a terrible pour. I know. It was a terrible pour. Alright, so, short answer. Did I like the movie? Yes. Tell you right now, it was good. Probably the best Transformers movie, modern Transformers movie, not the original animated one. But without the Michael Bay 2007 movie and all the fucking other 5 movies that, like, what was that? That made money, they wouldn't have had the money to make this one. So, yeah, you gotta think. It's weird. It's like, all those movies were shit, but we got them to thank for this one. So, get back. Yeah, the beveragey. So, like in so many movie reviews, what are you watching? You can just listen to them. Unless you want to watch them make faces and stuff. I got my Encore G1 figure out here. I couldn't find another one. So I was like, I'll use this one. So, if you don't know anything about this Bumblebee movie, and you're going into it thinking like, wow, that last movie was crap, how are they going to, fix it in the prequel and stuff like that? Those Michael Bay movies do not function in this reality. This has to be some kind of soft reboot of the timelines, because those Michael Bay movies were all over the place. If you have the DVDs and listen to the commentaries, the writers didn't know how the movie was going to end, because there was a writer's strike, and it's like, well, shit, we don't know what was going to happen. They didn't. So Michael Bay just was like, and it finished, yay! It was like, wow, that was a surprise. So those movies were all over the place. So, a quick, quote unquote, quick recap of the Michael Bay stories. A long, long ass time ago. If we're going to try to kind of make things kind of make sense, even though they really don't make sense and it's really poorly written, they're really, really bad. I've got thousands of, I've got well over 1,000 something Transformers. I love myself some Transformers, but those movies were crap. Story-wise, action-wise, they're like, yeah. Except for the one where they turn into, what was that, 4? Where they just turn into blocks and then rematerialize. That was just phoning it in. Anyway, back to Bumblebee. The timeline of the Michael Bay stuff went millions of years ago. There were like 13 primes. And they were the first Transformers of Cybertron. So Cybertron made those primes. And one of them got corrupted when he tried to take on, according to the comics and stuff like this, tried to take on Unicron. And and long ass time ago, in Age of Extinction, you saw that the Transformers were putting a bunch of energon-making devices on Earth millions of years ago during the time of the dinosaurs and stuff like that. And so the Transformers have been around Earth for millions of years, long last time ago. They put the Harvester from Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, in Egypt underneath a pyramid to harvest the sun so that it could recharge the Allspark and make an army of Transformers. That was the Fallen trying to make an army for Unicron. And a bunch of shit happens, and it's so all over the place. And then in the last movie, it turns out that the 13, some of the original primes, the Sentinels, that they'd been around, since Merlin and stuff like that. They've been around Earth helping the humans and stuff, and then in the timeline, after until the 1800s or something, around the turn of the last century, Megatron leaving Cybertron, trying to find the Allspark, crash lands on Earth, and he's found by some people that form Sector 7. That was Simon's secret Transformer group that reversed engineered Megatron to make a bunch of stuff. And then finally, it turns out that, Unicron is actually Earth. So Unicron was Earth all along, and the Fallen and stuff trying to make the Harvester on Earth was. They didn't explain it this way because they kind of forgot all about the other movies, but that would have helped Unicron and. Yeah. So Earth is Unicron, and the Autobots and Decepticons didn't arrive on Earth until Bumblebee called them, and until the Optimus and Jazz in the first movie Autobots came to Earth. after Bumblebee sent the message, like, hey, come to Earth. So okay. And that was in, what, 2007, so I don't know when that movie was supposedly taking place, but... So that's what happened. And they were left off with, oh, okay, humans, your planet is a giant transformer. Next movie, we'll what? Destroy Earth? To kill Unicron, we're gonna kill Earth and all the humans? This movie makes no sense. They were out of things to do. It's like, what? You are dumb. So, that was where they were at. In the prequel, they're like, oh, well, we're going to make a prequel to try to make sense of that timeline? That seems crazy stupid. So crazy. And also in the last movie, it turned out that Bumblebee had fought in World War I and been around for, fighting with the humans and stuff like that. So he's been around forever. So that's where they were. And to make a prequel to that, they would have to, have Bumblebee fighting in World War I and stuff like that. And it seems really hard to make that transition into this movie. So they kind of like scrapped a whole bunch of that stuff and went into the new movie, the Bumblebee movie, and said, all right, well, it's going to be a soft reboot. And it has to be a soft reboot because they have elements of the Michael Bay movies in this movie. It's like, which makes it confusing. Like, why do those guys exist? And they'll have to, figure out a way to have those guys exist and that storyline continue. So, a quick story, and some of the holes and problems with it. So it starts off great. We have Cybertron scene with, you got Huffer, I think, and Brawl was definitely there. This character, Brawl, he was there. RC was there. They had Ironhide in his old Iron, the G1 Ironhide type. Optimus. You had a bunch of G1 figures: Soundwave, Shockwave, Laserwave, Ravage. A lot of really cool stuff, and it was like, yeah, that was good. We want to see that. So it started off nice, and Optimus said, okay, the war's lost. We got to regroup, retreat, and regroup, set up a base, and then figure out a way to come back. It's like, okay, that's a good premise for the next movie. Okay. And they say, okay, Bumblebee, I found this planet. I guess only Bumblebee knew about this planet, but it's not true because Cliffjumper's buddy also was there or something. Shoots him off to go to Earth. Okay, so all right, go. And so he's like, oh, well, I'll set up the base, and then you guys come afterwards, so we can regroup and fortify and still, So yeah, they're taking off, and Decepticons are following them and stuff. So Bumblebee crash lands on Earth while some humans, turns out they are Sector 7, are doing some military drills, and boom, he crashes, and then then out of nowhere, Blitzwing comes in and says, "Oh, are you?" His name isn't Bumblebee. His name is B, like 247 or something. You're guilty of treason against Cybertron. I will kill you. And they have a fight. Blitzwing doesn't triple change into a tank, which would have been awesome, but he didn't do that. He was just a It was just Starscream, but not Starscream. It was all Starscream's colors and stuff, but no, I'm not Starscream. So maybe that was some rewrites or something like that. No, we got to make it different. I don't know how they. Maybe they put the CG up first, and then it was like, no, he's not Starscream. Okay, Starscream will come later if they go back to Michael Bay stuff. And so he fights with Blitzwing and gets his voice box taken out. It's like, oh, I can't speak. I don't know where the secret base is or something. And he manages to blow up Blitzwing. And shit, this is gonna be a long video. Kanpai. He manages to blow up Blitzwing, and it was kind of sad because it's like, wow, Blitzwing is pretty cool. I like Blitzwing. No, I mean, he's a bad guy and crazy and shit, but he was a cool figure. So, but in the process of blowing up Blitzwing and, you know, trying to escape from the Sector 7 guys, he gets damaged and passes out. And there's like memory failing and voice box broken and shit like that. He's got all these English writing on his monitor, on his, you know, inside vision. It's like, wow, he can speak English. And so like in the last seconds he scans the bug, and then he like blacks out. And I'm thinking, okay, so he blacks out. There's a giant robot who blacks out, scanned a Volkswagen bug, and then what? While he's unconscious, he transforms into the bug, or he transformed into the bug and then passed out. He was on the side of a lake. You know, there's some camping people, and so then we're like, okay, and now he turns up in a like a junkyard by the bay thing, and there's this kind of a, you know, rebellious girl, and I really liked it was kind of nice, and a lot of people have been comparing it to E.T. and Iron Giant and stuff like that. But I was talking to SSJ Autobot, Jesse, and I was like, yeah, I don't think kids know what E.T. is. Or maybe they know Iron Giant because it's a cartoon, but yeah, Drew Barrymore, that was a long ass time ago. So yeah, she finds him and she's like, "Oh, you come with me" and stuff. It was kind of silly because she's working on an Autobot. She's like, "Oh, I can fix this Autobot." So Bumblebee works as a human car, like an actual bug. And where are all this Cybertronian stuff? You see it when she goes under the car. It's like, wow, those parts aren't, VW. No one ever inspected this thing. It's like, okay, you gotta, turn off your brain for a little bit. It's like, okay, she gets him running, and he transforms, and it's like, oh, I can't talk, and like, okay, he can't talk, and you're my friend. Okay, you're my friend. So, so the Decepticons track him down. When she turns him on, she tries to turn him on with a key. And it's like, oh, turn on. He accidentally sends hey, I'm here, location beacon or something, like to one of the moons of like Saturn or something. to his buddy Cliff Jumper, which is in the area. But Cliff Jumper is in a fight with two Decepticons. He's like, where's the Autobot base? And he's like, oh, and Cliff Jumper gets fucked up. And like, wow, okay. So they go back and track the signal, and we got to go find Bumblebee. So they go down to find Bumblebee, and they go, that's where the action's like, oh, we got to fight Bumblebee. And it was nice and good. Yeah, the girl's trying to hide Bumblebee from her parents and from everyone, because it's a giant fucking robot. And so she's in the touching, like, hey, I'll fix you, and you can't speak, oh no. And he was like, Bumblebee was turning his dial, his radio, which was like, why did you scan a human radio? It's like, oh, this is a human radio that I scanned and put into myself and made my ability to scan the frequencies of the radio so that I can make sounds. Why not just get like a voice synthesizer and just have the ability to manipulate that? Stephen Hawking can do it. I'm sure Bumblebee can do it, but he can't. And so it's like, oh, this radio isn't all that good. So the girl takes another radio and like swaps it out. It's like, oh, look, all the cables connecting this radio and all the voltage works great with Cybertronian technology at 12 volts or whatever it is. And she gives him a tape deck. And it's like, hey, let's put some music in there. And it's, kind of funny. And it's a nice scene. And ha ha ha. And Rick rolling and stuff. But just some of that stuff, I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. But you got to turn off your brain. Turn off your brain. Just, like, that wouldn't work. Humans... I like that one scene in the last night where Marky Mark and the girl are talking about how to fix a transformer. It's like, well, you just take the green hose and stick it in the doohickey, and you can do this. Yeah, because they're working on fucking transformers. It's not a VW bug. It's like, what is this thing? Yeah. But it's a total reboot, so maybe it's like a soft reboot. So, the Decepticons come to Earth and they talk to the humans. They're like, hey, we gotta find Bumblebee because he's a dangerous guy. And John Cena, the wrestler guy, he's like, yeah, these guys are, Decepticons and stuff. And so there's a big fight, and and the love interest, it's like, oh, I'll help you. And the boy and the girl, and he kind of likes her, but she's like, no, you can't hold my hand. It's like, okay, well, it seemed like very girl power, no hand holding. Yeah, but girls like, holding hands and doing stuff. Girl can fuck a guy in the ass with a strap on. It's all okay. They can all do that stuff. Some guys like that. Powerful girls. You can do anything you want. So at the end, Bumblebee's like, oh, I can't. The Sector 7, they reference Simmons, like, oh, we gotta go capture Bumblebee and stuff. And there's a big fight, and the Bumblebee wins. And she's like, okay, you gotta go free. And like letting a dog free, you gotta go, what? I can't be with you. You gotta, find your friends and stuff like that. And he rolls up next to a semi that's like G1 style Optimus, and you're like, oh, okay. Um, but really, Optimus. This is like 1987. If we're going with Michael Bay stuff, then yeah, that hasn't happened. Optimus hasn't come to Earth yet. Also, why is there Sector 7? It's Megatron. Did Megatron come to Earth? And they never mentioned Megatron, so I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a mystery. Why is there even a Sector 7? And, yeah, some loose ends like that. It's like, okay. But overall, I thought it was really good compared to the other stuff. I hope they clean up a lot of that like Sector 7 stuff, or just get rid of like the Michael Bay. Just say screw it. There's no more Michael Bay stuff. I think I think maybe if and this is the bad thing, if it is profitable, it's like, oh, people want to see the sequel to this, or in the 80s or stuff. I hope they just don't go back to Bay and say, okay, here you go, because he's going to just make it terrible. If they just do like an alternate reality where there was Megatron could still be there, or some other old Decepticon, like Jetfire or something like that, and there was a Sector 7 built around Jetfire, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so the story of Jetfire was he was a Decepticon and then changed over to Autobot. But yeah, 5 would be a kind of indifferent movie. Neither liked it or disliked it. But 6 would be, all right. I liked it. I give this around maybe an 8. It was good. Because on a bias, I'm biased towards Transformers, so it's an 8. Really, it's maybe like a 7 or something like that. Because it's a nice little friendly, happy movie. Some people criticize the campiness of it, but I thought it was great for 1980s. Yeah, people were idiots in the 80s, and I thought that came across I thought it came across well, like the John Cena just kind of being a kind of a jock boy or something like that, and being really kind of cheesy and stuff. I thought it was really good. Another cheese movie, which a lot of people didn't like, or they're maybe split on, was Aquaman. It's like, oh, that's kind of cheap and campy and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, but it's Aquaman. Come on, it's not Batman. It's not like dark and brooding and stuff like that. He's talking to fish. How are you going to make a movie where he's like seriously talking to fish? I'm seriously talking to fish. No, dude, you're not seriously talking to fish. Like Aquaman. So, it's out. I'm done. So that was a movie. Not many spoilers. I guess I did tell you how it ended, but I didn't tell you like this happened to this and this and this. But I only some of the things that point were kind of annoying me, like popped out at me, like what that you couldn't do that, but you got to turn off your brain. And I think, I don't know, but I think if they did intention, or if they initially wanted to go with a prequel to the Michael Bay stuff, and then later changed their mind and said, okay, we can't do that because Michael Bay's shit was crap. But they had filmed some of the stuff like Sector 7, and then they needed humans in there to do something. And what were they going to be, the bad guys, the military bad guys? They would have to reintroduce a new organization. Who were the bad guys? And they would have to name it like something else. So they kind of kept that, and it's like, all right, well, if you keep that, then you're going to have to describe the origin stories of this. And what they didn't do, and which was kind of disappointing, was they didn't use, before the movie was released, there was a comic prequel to it, IDW, I think. And in that one, Bumblebee was like a secret agent in like the 60s or 70s, and yeah, so that didn't happen because he landed on Earth. Oh, I guess he did. But yeah, the way the movie timeline works, he didn't have that interaction with the humans and as a spy and stuff like that. So that got thrown out the window. In that comic, there's one of the spy. He has an Autobot ring, and I printed out this ring. He made this in CAD, and I wanted to put a secret micro SD card slot in there, but I used a support, so it's really hard to clean out there. But the design allows for you to put a micro SD card into that red bit, and then put that into here, and and then you can wear that as like a ring. Put that on my pinky, and in the cartoon it's on his pinky in the comic book. So you got it, and then in the comic book he like shoots out an Autobot laser or some Autobot insignia thing. But ow, I don't think this is coming off. Ow. Okay, there it goes. Got to lay off that holiday food. And then so they ignored the comic book. They kind of half-assed it with the Michael Bay Sector 7 stuff. And they kind of brought in Optimus early. Cliffjumper's dead, which is sad. So right now we're left at the end. We don't know how many Decepticons are on Earth. We don't know how many Autobots know about Earth. So yeah, we don't know when. We don't know how Optimus found Earth. Were there other seekers, or so there's a lot of stuff that can be explained in the second movie. And if they just completely ignore the Michael Bay stuff, then they can do a bunch of stuff, but they don't need to have like the Revenge of the Fallen with the Dark Side of the Moon with the spaceship on Earth and on the moon, and the harvester underneath a giant pyramid in Egypt. And yeah, I hope they just ignore that stuff and just go back to Cybertron and do something. All right. All right. So yeah. Finally, the rating 8 out of 10. Biased 1 point extra for being a Transformers movie, and real score probably a 7 out of 10. If you don't know anything about the Bay movies, then you are good. If you know some things about the Bay movies and you try to put them into this movie, then you will be confused. Confuser. Yeah, because that doesn't make shit for sense. Yeah, so that's it. Let me know. Oh yeah, all the YouTube things. Smash that like button and click the subscribe button and what's the other thing? Some like button and the bell. Do the bell thing and all the hibbity hibbity. All right, next is my top movies of 2018. All right, talk to you guys later. Kanpai. Bye bye. Bye bye.